Hi, how are you? This is Sarah Parker Thomas. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today I thought we would talk about networking and success and how to successfully network with strangers. In the past, I've shared some simple tips you could incorporate into your daily life that will lead to big changes. Mostly, I've written about them on the blog on the website, sarahparkerthomas.com. I've done a few videos, but I thought maybe we would try to do a weekly series on building business success. What do you think? Let's try it out and see how it goes, okay? One big thing that you can do to build a successful business is networking. And you may think, yeah, I know all about networking. But do you really? And how successful are you at networking? But let's break it down to some easy steps, do a quick refresher, okay? Business networking is actually very simple. The first key to networking is show up. And I hear you out there going, what? Show up? What? That goes without saying, right? Well, no, it doesn't. Because networking is not just going to a local business club or a trade show meeting. It's always having your cards with you and also not being afraid to give them out. It's about being able to meet random people, let's say your neighbor or the lady at the supermarket, your daughter's Sunday school teacher, just random people throughout life and network with them efficiently, right? Sounds simple, doesn't it? But most people turn into like a deer in the headlight when they think about doing this. Yeah? So what do you think? What are your feelings on approaching a stranger in a situation like this? Or an acquaintance and then engaging them with the sales speech. And it's not really about the sales speech. More than anything, it's about listening. And I will get to the sales speech and why you shouldn't give it in just a minute. But first things first. When you're introduced to someone for the first time, do you often forget their name? Why do you think that is? Chances are good it's because you weren't listening or paying attention. So the next time you're standing in line somewhere and the person beside you starts engaging you in conversation, listen. Really listen to what they're saying. And by this I mean listen fully. Stop planning what you're going to say next. Stop running the to-do list. Just be present in the moment and listen. Did you know most people can subconsciously read body language? Yeah, they can. Even though it is done on a subconscious level, the message is clear when you're not paying attention to them. So people can tell when you're really not listening to them. When you don't look them in the eye, when you're piddling with your phone while you're trying to escape or talking over them, they can tell that you're really not interested in what they're saying. So if you're coming off not interested in what they're saying, why should they care about what you're saying or your product or your service, right? I cannot stress enough how big this is. Just listen and then engage with people. And it doesn't matter what you do, what you sell, what you teach, import, export, build, cook, tear down, build up, so everyone is a potential customer in one way or another. And I will share with you on a personal level that a lot of my customers are referrals from other customers or from people I have met in various weird places throughout the world who have engaged with me in conversation. We've started talking, and before you know it, they're at my website. I've given them a card. They're calling me, and we're setting up an appointment, or they're buying something from the store online. So it's just that easy. And it's just that important to learn how to properly network with people. And look, I know that this is it's kind of one of those things that people don't like to talk about because selling in itself is kind of a dirty word. Especially if you're in a spiritual business. Most people that I work with that are developing spiritual businesses are spot on fabulous. They're ethical, they're honest, and they're very caring, very kind, and they are phenomenal. But they have a very hard time marketing themselves and selling their product. And that's because we have this mindset about selling. But like I say, if you've been paying attention so far, this is not hard stuff. This is meeting people, looking them in the eye, listening to them, and being attentive as you talk to them. You can do this. You can do it. Okay? Pretty easy, right? The next thing is when you're talking to somebody, be thoughtful, be attentive, and think before you speak. Yeah, because what you think is cool, funny, charming, etc., might not be to anybody else. So think about your tone of voice, your body language, and your noise level. Are you following a conversation or are you talking over someone? And that's a big no-no, isn't it? Also, do you find yourself rambling? Also not cool. These are the people we all avoid at parties, isn't it? When you're stuck with somebody at a dinner party and they're rambling on and on, aren't you trying to devise ways to get out of there? So, same thing. When you meet people, be courteous. And remember, time is money. Don't waste their time and don't waste yours. If you pay attention to the other person, you can really tell if you're starting to ramble by the clues they're giving you. If you are unsure if you're rambling, there's a great way to tell. Record yourself telling a story and then listen back and be open to learning from this. This is a skill you're learning, so don't be hard on yourself at first, especially if you have a hard time because you are rambling or you're unsure of what to say. As I said, this is a skill and you can learn it. Okay, next. Don't repeat a speech. I mean, yeah, we all kind of have an idea of what we say about ourselves or what we say about our product or service that we kind of just pull from. But people don't like speeches. Trust me, nobody does. And no one likes to be held captive at a speech. And another point of being captive at a speech is most people will feel compelled to interrupt and ask questions. And that takes us to the next point. Do you have the answers? How knowledgeable are you of your product or service? If you answered no, then clearly the no, don't do the speech. You're not ready. But just so, you should be knowledgeable about your product or service. And honestly, you should, because you are selling, representing this product, this service. No, you're not expected to have all the answers because somebody's going to ask you something that you probably don't know. But you should be able to explain it and explain it easily to anyone. How do you get to this point? By practice and by talking to people. Most people will probably ask you the same set of questions. How long have you been doing this? What's the benefits? How much does it cost? Why should I work with you as opposed to, say, Walmart, Target, or Dr. Smith down the street? Those are the kind of questions that most people will ask. Somebody will ask you something off the wall because they're looking at it from a different point of view, and that's fine too. Be knowledgeable about what you're selling or creating is a huge key in actually selling. So the best way to become more knowledgeable is by doing. So take some time and practice this with your friends, practice with your family, and practice with strangers. Talk to them, practice listening, practice being attentive, practice talking about your product or service. Yeah, and always make sure you have up-to-date business cards handy. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't already, please hit the red button and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm holding a live 2-day business workshop event in Albuquerque, New Mexico, United States, in March, on March 6th and 7th of this year, 2017. If you want more information on that and you want to perhaps maybe work with me live at the workshop or maybe book a private session with me, go to the website, sarahparkerthomas.com, and check out our special deals and offerings for the month. Thank you. Love and light. Bye-bye.